Hey guys, I'm back in the garage ready to start some giant pumpkin seeds. I have to select my seeds first. But actually no, that's not what I'm going to do first. I have selected the seeds, so I'll show you what I am going to be growing. But first, I want to show you what I'm doing with my pots and the starting soil this time. Okay, so here's what we got this year. This year I got 12 of these little plastic chintzy looking pots. They got holes in the bottom of them for drainage. And I have actually cut them in half, taped them back together, so that way when we transplant them, all we got to do is remove the tape, and then it should then remove the sides, and then it should just be nicely in the hole there without disturbing the roots too much. I'm usually pretty good at transplanting anyway, but yeah, I just tried this just because I didn't do it last year. So then we're going to set it down in these trays. So what we do is we got a nice bag of Pro Mix this year. As you can see, it's the consistency and just general look of it is way better than what I was dealing with before. So I'm going to fill this pot. We're going to fill this pot up about 2/3 of the way. Run into some debris a little bit there. Okay, so I got that 2/3 of the way. Now I've got a bag of worm castings over here, which is rich in nutrients. So we're going to open this up. Okay, so then I'm going to dump a little bit of worm castings in here on top of the Pro Mix, just like that, and then kind of mix that in. Mix that in with that Pro Mix and really get that looking a little darker there. Okay, and then I'll top it off with some more of the Pro Mix, and then that'll do it. That's really want to get it as high up as I can. These things, when they get going, they're going to need a lot of soil, so as you know, to attempt to not get root bound. So yeah, I'm going to try to fit 6. I can just barely fit 6 of these things full on one of these, so we're going to do 12 of them, and then we'll take a look at the seeds. All right, so here we go with our seed selection. Now, I don't have any proven seeds here, and what I mean by that is none of these seeds here have been proven to grow particularly large pumpkins. So, you know, and I don't have the money to buy seeds at auctions. Normally, seeds like that are usually available at auctions earlier in the year, and they, sometimes they go for a lot of money. Well, I've been spending so much money on equipment and things like that. I really don't have the money to spend on seeds. So we're going to go with seeds that have generally good genetics. So I've kind of divided my seeds into a couple different categories here. So one of the strategies that some growers use is that they will use a seed from a pumpkin that was heavier than it measured. And that basically that just means that there's a chart that tells you how much your pumpkin probably weighs based on certain measurements of it. And these 4 seeds here were significantly heavier than what they measured. Now, some growers, what they will do is they'll take seeds like this and use them as pollinators. Instead of actually growing the pumpkin on these plants, will grow these plants only to get their male flowers and use the male flower to pollinate a pumpkin on one of these plants over here. So for pollinators, of course, these are going to be pretty heavy to the chart. We've got 2144 Baron or Barone, 17. It says it went 17% heavy. Is that in there? Yeah, about 17%. 1636 Barone or Baron. I don't know these guys well enough to know how it's pronounced. 15% heavy. Then we got a 1229 Rodabaugh. Doc Rodabaugh, 17% heavy. He grew that one last year, it looked like. It's a good pumpkin. And then we've got the really heavy one, 1363 Barker, grown in 22, 24% heavy to the chart. If this one does really well, this is probably going to be the pollinator right here at 24%. Okay, so there's 4 potential pollinators. Now we have 6. I'm sorry. Should be 8. Yeah, eight seeds that we're going to try to grow for the pumpkin. I've got Friar Moods seeds, who just got a jacket this year. He's another really good Indiana grower. 1964, his biggest one from last year. We've got his 1768, same guy. Then we've got another Indiana grower, Michael Hodge, the leader of our club. 1753 Hodge. Now, if you look at these, this is the genetics here from the Caspers and the Mendy. So really good genetics there. Same thing with the 1768 here, 2469 Deletus, and he pollinated it with a prior pumpkin of his. And then what we got over here? We got Caspers, 1935 5 Caspers, which came from a 2365 Wolf, which is really good genetics. Then we have this one here, the Dutch Record. Now there's a picture of it. This pumpkin, if I end up growing this is going to be probably a pretty white pumpkin. But this was grown off of Katupri's world record from a couple years ago, 1979 Horde. And then I've got a Peyton seed. Just I don't know. This seed hasn't really done much of anything, but you know, it's a Peyton seed, so let's just, for the heck of it, why not? Sure. And then the one that is, I'm actually growing, we're going to start 2 of these, I think. Yeah, I think I'm going to start 2 of these. This was Steve Strickler's Indiana State record from last year, the 2054. Another pumpkin from 2365. So those are the genetics. And then of course I'm going to start one of my 746s from last year. And so ultimately I don't know which one's going to be best. They might all be good because I'm using really good potting soil. So we'll see what happens. And then you know, all things being equal, then we'd probably go with Strickler. We'll go with Barker for pollinator, and then as far as the other ones go, I don't know. Based on, I don't know, might go with the Hodge. I don't know, or maybe the Caspers because of the genetics. So we'll see what happens. Okay, we got the seeds in the pots, watered in. Got the heater running on them. One thing I want to mention is you can see I've got them in these trays here, and I just poured a bunch of water just into the trays because the pots have, you know, holes in the bottom, and you know, that way the soil can soak up some of that water from below. Because this ProMix soil, while it's very good, boy, it soaks up water like a sponge, at least when it's brand new and hadn't been used. So hopefully I won't have to add too much water, but I don't know. We'll see as I go along. I think we remember last year's fiasco with that crappy potting soil. I use that term loosely. That I had, and I ended up just flooding one of the pots, and it was just a disaster and almost lost the plant. But we probably won't have that issue this time. The grow light is not on yet. We don't need light for germination. Once we come back in a few days, hopefully we'll see some movement, and then we'll kick on the light. Okay, folks, we are off and running. We've got a few that have come up after 3 days and some change. Looks like 2054. One of the 2054 is right there, which is good. I like that. The one behind it there is, what does it say? I can't read it from here. Sorry. I know that's one of the ones that it looks like a 15% heavy, and that one in the back, that third one there, that's the Barker. That's the 24% heavy. So, so that's good. That's definitely what I wanted. So, the other ones will be along shortly, I think. I might have, maybe I piled a little more dirt on top of them than I probably needed to. But, yep, we are underway.